Bridgerton in one line?
If I had to, oh God.
Have you seen Bridgerton?
It's Pride and Prejudice for the 2020s. It's Pride and Prejudice without great long boring shots.
It's sped up Pride and Prejudice.
It's costume drama on speed.
Yeah.
And on acid, because it's really colourful as well.
I really, really enjoyed this series. I really did.
I had a moment in the middle where I hit a bit of a road
I have
bump.
some problems with it, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But
so it's a big deal because it's based on a series of books by Julia Quinn. When I said this to my mum, Nanny Di, for those of you who follow us, she went all snooty and snobby and wandered off.
Because she didn't know who Julia Quinn was.
Because she thought, well, no, she did.
She's a librarian.
She's a librarian. And Julia Quinn is a sort of classic romantic novelist, sort of historical romantic novelist, not the kind of genre I would go for. So I know what she means. It's not the kind of book I'd reach for in a shop.
Would there have been this amount of sex in the book?
Possibly. And I'm not a massive costume drama fan. I mean, I like things. I know you keep thinking I don't want to watch The Great. I do want to watch The Great, but I don't want to just watch one episode. I want to binge watch it once they're all out. The Great is great. The Great is great on Channel 4. But I loved The Favourite. I thought, costume drama is really a ripe genre to be brought up to date and given some
brought up to date. Wow, like you say, The Great and The Favourite, written by the same person. I just absolutely love them. Yeah. And this is it light.
Yeah, exactly. It trots along. I tell you what I was really smitten by was in each episode, and I think there are 8 or 10 episodes. There's so much crammed in. There are so many plots. I mean, obviously it pivots around Phoebe Dynevor, who's the daughter of the wonderful actress from Coronation Street.
Sally Webster.
Yeah, and it's also starring, obviously, new heartthrob Regé-Jean Page, who plays her love interest. And really, it's a Regency comedy. I mean, I love the whole Regency thing, that sort of strange moment in British history.
The beautiful homes, the costumes, stunning locations, the rooms, the chandeliers, the pianos.
And it's all about the debutante balls.
I mean, I had to convince my mum to watch it, because she didn't think she was going to like it. She loved it in the end, but she was so cross.
Yes.
She was so cross about the costumes, because the costumes are all wrong.
But she's quite a classicist, isn't she?
Very. Yeah. But actually, I liked the added colour to it. And for me, I loved the themes. I loved, I mean, a bit like a Bling Empire. It reminds you again of those people that can appear to have these astonishing lives. A bit like Succession, another real favourite of ours series. It is a curse to be born into money. It can be an absolute curse because choice is actually reduced right through time. And I thought it showed us that really, really well. And also the terrible suppression of women and how in lots of ways that hasn't changed even now.
Well, it was brilliant. Yeah, you had obviously it focuses on the Bridgerton family, of which Daphne, the main girl played by Phoebe, is the lead character. And she's absolutely, I mean, this is her moment. I mean, and also Netflix have said this is the most streamed series on their channel to date. So she's going to be a mega star. Second season's already been commissioned. And it pivots around this family, the Bridgerton family, within Regency sort of times, the upper echelons of class, in terms of just rubbing shoulders with the Queen, brilliantly played by, I forget the name of the actress, but the Queen in this is wonderfully sort of,
she's so good.
Sort of louche and sort of, just come over.
And we realised halfway through that she's actually the Queen to King George, the madness of King George.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so it's parked within this historical moment, but it is about the sort of debutante balls thing. But you're right, quite quickly you realise that this gaggle of girls, a bit like Pride and Prejudice, have very little choice when it comes to the men they can be with, arranged marriages. It's all about families. It's all about dowries and all this kind of malarkey. But actually,
it's all set in the coming out, the summer of the coming out, the season of coming out, and just this the horror of all the hapless men that sort of brought in and out. Oh my God!
Absolutely, but there were as few choices for the men too.
Yes,
and that's what you realise. This is a terrible sort of.
Well, in any arranged marriage, even now. An arranged marriage. I mean, somebody I knew that had an arranged marriage, 10 years ago said it was just as traumatizing for her husband as it was for her.
Oh, absolutely.
He didn't want or know her. The same as she didn't want or know him.
But one of the things that really surprised me about this, because I sometimes feel that the overbearing need to sometimes, not always, but sometimes to over diversify for the sake of diversification can sometimes weigh heavily on drama. And I thought this show did the most perfect job of going at it with such panache. And because obviously at the time, you know, the vast majority of the characters at this time in England would not have been black. And we had an entirely ethnically diverse cast that, because it ran at it with such conviction, not once did you... I think for me...
in any way sort of falter you. It was just
it didn't, and that's my
these were
point.
just people of different colour.
Yeah.
And you weren't...
It didn't apologise for it. It didn't labour it.
It was great. It was
It
so
cracked
great.
on. And for me, that was its absolute searing success, because I think, personally, on the sort of costume drama front and mainstream drama front, this is a revolutionary series. I think this is a game-changing series that proves that there is now no argument for whatever you cast and wherever you set something for you not to be able to cast a completely diverse cast of actors and performers.
I'd love to actually know what that feels like.
Yeah.
For people within that community to just see that. I mean, the leading man in it, you know, man of colour, we just accepted it. And he was stunning in it, absolutely
the Queen
stunning.
Of colour.
The Queen.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was just brilliant. And I mean, you know, and also, you know, many of the lead characters are in it. I mean, it reminded me of the David Copperfield film, which also ran at it. Just ran at it.
No,
unapologetically. And I think that's the way you've got to do it, to avoid the naysayers who are going to go, well, that's not quite right, that's not quite right. And so, of course, the whole thing pivots around the will they, won't they love relationship between Simon Bassett.
At some point.
Oh my God, the Duke of Hastings and her.
Tell him you fancy him.
Now, a few warnings out there. There's a bit of sex in there.
Not a few warnings. There are 2 episodes which are practically all sex. It's soft porn.
Soft porn?
Soft porn.
I think that's...
It's a lot.
There's a lot of buttocks clenching and a lot of oohing and ahhing.
I mean, people at work today were saying they had to fast forward it all because it was too much.
For their kids?
No, for them.
Really? Oh, right. Yeah, there's a lot of Regency birth control. I think you can fathom what that might mean. It's saucy, and I love this word, bawdy. I don't think it needs to be as graphic
for as much as it was, because and that's where I think was a bit of a problem. But I also think it probably wasn't a problem because it's the most streamed drama on Netflix, so maybe that's what people were looking for. There's a scene where he takes her glove off, which is as sexy as sexy. You know, do you need
that glove?
To have that discomfort, that awkwardness, you know? I mean, it's like if someone, I was saying this on the show today, if somebody snogs right next to me, putting their tongue to each other, I don't like it.
No. You're not the kind of woman to get involved in it, are you?
No.
No, but here's the thing. I think you're right, and I think so. For example, I really wanted Maddie and Kiki to watch it, but then you sort of think, actually, no, the sex is too much. Particularly one episode about number 7 or number 8. It is a bit much. I think you're right, and for me though, bawdy. I remember seeing we saw a brilliant play at the RSC once, which was a real bawdy kind of raw, really suggestive, really rude, really sexy, but it didn't get explicit. And I think sometimes the bawdiness is best when you don't see it all. And I think sometimes you're right, it just slipped into, I hate to use that word, but it just slipping into a bit too much, if you know what I mean. Another device in this, I'm trying to find the name of the one. I want to give a particular shout out to the sister, Claudia Jessie. I am obsessed with Claudia Jessie, who
She's
plays.
so good. Watch out for her.
She is a new find. She's going to be as big as Florence Pugh. She's got a gravel to her voice.
She might not be though. She lives on a narrow road.
I know,
has nothing to do with social media or anything. She's a bit of a hippie. Goes off and does other stuff.
I love her.
I bet you feel that in her performance.
You do.
She's so authentic.
But she's so authentic. As was the brother, and I think
they were all good.
They were all good. But the brother, was it Jonathan Bailey who plays Phoebe's older brother, the man of the house? I thought he was brilliant. I thought the Bridgerton's mum, she was brilliantly nuanced and subtle. Some really.
And Imelda Staunton's daughter's in it. It's strange she didn't have more to do. She was good.
Now there are a few moments. If you look really closely, you can see single yellow lines outside some of the Regency houses. They forgot to cover them up. Ooh.
Really?
A bit like the moment they had the coffee cup.
Yeah.
A bit like the moment they had a coffee cup in the middle of Game of Thrones. Do you remember that?
How could that happen?
I know. I liked the costumes.
A yellow line?
Yeah, a yellow line. And one of the wide shots of the Regency Road, yeah. I thought the costume design was brilliant. I loved almost how sickly and trippy the colours were. I thought it was a really clever stylistic choice to make it just ping out even more. I think that works in its favour. There are so many plot lines, and there's this other great device of Julie Andrews' voice telling us what's happening. So you've got this idea of society, the narration, and they're all trying to second guess who's the narrator, who's the narrator.
Some clever little themes to show us that the men also are in a place of
subjugation,
no choice, because with the storyline with the eldest brother and the opera singer, I thought was a really good,
that was lovely,
raunchy,
beautifully
bawdy,
played,
sexy storyline. And actually, in the end, you felt quite desperate for the elder brother with his lack of choice.
You do end up at certain times wanting to get Regé-Jean Page, the love interest, and smashing him together with Phoebe, because you're like, just pull it together, guys.
Just tell her what's the matter.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
You're shouting at the screen, but I 100% fully recommend you watch it. And if you don't like the sex scenes, literally fast forward through episode 7 and 8.
Absolutely fabulous, absolutely fabulous. And I've got a new girl crush, which is Claudia Jessie.
She's really special.
Quite a special actress.
For more film and family fun, don't forget to click the subscribe button and make sure to click the bell to never miss an update.